So cliche, Dennis, and I almost don't even want to say it. I was at reading cinemas in Auburn with my little brother. I was playing soccer at the time. I watched the Never Back Down movie. That same night, I Googled MMA gyms in Sydney. That's honestly, I can't change that story. I first started doing any sort of combat sports training at Jin Woo Kun in the city. Check Fly was the owner at the time. That was at Broadway. Um, I started doing that when I was 15. At the same time, I was training at CFS with Mr. John Levin, who's still at the same location. Um, well, actually, he changed locations, but his new location. I also worked with him there. Then I transitioned to working with the wrestling coach who was at CFS more at the time. His name's Mark Stefaniev. He was working with Lenny, who's also currently still the national coach for the for the Australian wrestling team. Then I spent time training at Seven Hills at Full Combat Center with Shane Nix. That's where I met people like Tyson and Ty, but they had no idea who I was back then. I was a young kid, and they were kind of the big boys in that area. So yeah, I met Rodney Williams, who's now at Blacktown PCYC. I work with some of Rodney's fighters. I took a real like to boxing because of Rodney, and then I had some amateur fights under Rodney in Blacktown PCYC later on. So most recently, I just do some grappling, I do some wrestling and some jiu-jitsu with some friends and some gyms. I'm not a serious competitor by any means. I think there's a clear point for me where I realized I had more interest in helping fighters than being one. And I've said that before on previous podcasts too. And I'm happy I made that distinction because I think I have a lot to give to the combat sports community. And that ultimately is where my passion lies. And I think that comes out in the work that we do at Ethos also.